The king of onion rings, James Bot.
You think IBP would have got top 4 in EU groups? Probably, because there's enough teams in the EU, like, lower end of the groups, like effort, that IBP would probably be 5-0ing. If we're ignoring ping, IBP are really good at beating teams that are, like, low standings, but they, against other top teams, I think they're going to struggle against EU teams. Unless IBP have got so much potential, if they, like, just get sort out their coaching or whatever and actually sort out their problems, they could definitely be the best team in the world. It could be. But if Kronovi's actually their coach, that's going to be a big problem, I think. I don't think a player should ever be a coach. It's just a weird dynamic and relationship for a team. If IBP were an EU team, what would the rank be? Probably 5th. I think SA would edge them. Actually, I don't know. It would be close. It'd be. I think, yeah, probably IBP would take 4th over SA, because SA are also really inconsistent. Findable Carpet brought up a good point pre-game here. He said Vexx have had longer to cool down after their loss. Genesis have just come off a heartbreaking loss to Kings of Urban, and now they have to play another best of 7 against a Vexx team who have, you know, they've had some time to think about their games against IBP, and now they're back and, you know, ready to fight once more, which that's definitely a relevant thing to bring up by Carpet. Like, I would expect Vexx to be performing closer to their peak than Genesis right now, just because Genesis, what a heartbreaking loss for them. They were so close, 3-2 up in games, 2-0 up in goals, like, they had it in their sights, then a couple of missed well clears and they're back even and they lose game 7. It's a heartbreaker for them. It would have been incredible to see Genesis in the final against IBP, because nobody would have seen that coming.
Shot still coming from J-Rod. The pressure is unreal from Vexx, but finally a breakout opportunity from Moses, but pushed right back into their zone. Midfield, open net, if a shot can come from Turtle.
Thoughts on Hibs winning the Scottish Cup final? I don't have many thoughts on that besides Scrub Killer messaged me. He was really happy because he's a Hibs fan. So if anybody wondering what I'm talking about, Scrub Killer's football team that he supports won a cup final, and he was delighted. So there you go. That hit by Quinn, like, that's the kind of hit, the kind of like, oh, the ball's next to me and it's near my goal, so I'm going to hit it as far away from my goal as possible. Nobody was there from Vexx to capitalize on that weak hit, but I always see those kind of weak hits where it's just like, oh no, the ball's really close to my goal, I must hit it away. And then they hit it away just a tiny bit and the other team takes possession. Quinn shouldn't be in the corner here, he should be chilling in the goal. Yep. James spot on the analysis right there. Well, Matt, I can't be bothered commenting on that. I don't know enough about the situation. Like, it's up to tournament organizers to run their own tournament and abide by the rules that they've set up. Like, what do you really want me to say? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Somebody probably got screwed over in Market 3s yesterday when there was some weird situation with Liam Girls using a sub mid-series. Somebody probably got screwed over. I don't know who. Don't really care, to be honest. It's Market 3v3. It's not. RLCS is so much more important. Alright, see you later, Bergster. Nice talking to you, dude.
Oh, another block. A little bit of confusion. You saw the Pluto was just waiting for Moses to hit it.
But Yemen, why is the ball more safe, like a couple of yards away from you, rather than just keeping it close to you? Because if the ball's right beside you and somebody tries to come in from attack and hit it, the worst that you're getting is a 50-50. But if you poke it away from yourself, then somebody can just hit it straight over you. Like, it's not an advantage to just poke the ball away. Just a couple of yards. That was a great shot by Garrett. Well done. Like, Vexx are just coming out hot, which isn't a surprise because, like we said, Genesis coming off a heartbreaker loss. Moses not able to read that in time. Did the chat freeze in the stream? No, it's just you. The chat's going.
Yeah, halfway through and you're already up 3 goals. We'll see if they can keep it up. Lots of time, though, for Genesis to pull back as another one.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, Yemen. He could have just left the ball. He could have just moved out the way for Pluto to hit it. Like, in this situation, I'm not talking about this exact situation. It was wrong to hit that, but I'm talking generally. I always see these weak hits from players. Like, you're being far too specific and narrow-minded, Yemen. You're looking at one instance and saying, ah, but it was fine because it worked this time. Like, it can go wrong so many other occasions, just generally. Just doing soft clears for no reason.
Vexx, they're up already in this first game, showing Genesis what they got. As we said, Genesis was
Yeah, leaving it for a 50-50 on your goal line is far, far better than letting it, just passing it to an attacker. Just because the ball's slightly farther away from your net doesn't mean that it's safer. Oh, well done by Turtle.
Pluto was thankfully there on a rotation.
Guys, I'm not talking about this specific instance, I'm speaking generally, as most of my comments are. They're very general comments. Do not be blinded by narrow-mindedness. We must think generally.
Off the backboard, Moses couldn't get there in time. Turtle beat him out. That's still out for Quinn.
Alright, so one goal back is not over. We got the good old 4-1-4-1-1 on the scoreboard timer.
Gets that win there, pops off the side. Quinn in the right place, the right time, putting it in. One goal, finally preventing the shutout, but still Genesis.
Exactly, Yemen. So in his narrow POV from player perspective, what would he have seen? What would Quinn have seen when he did that soft clear? All he knows is that the ball is right beside him, and it's close to his goal. Why is soft clearing it away better than just keeping it close to himself? Like, the fact that he has less information makes it even more likely that it's better to keep the ball close to him.
There's the pass out to Garrett. Great passing play. The patience to set that up. Not just hit the
If he had perfect information, then he would have known that hitting it was fine, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have had perfect information there, because the ball was so close to him, it would have obscured his vision.
Good thing Pluto got the hit on that.
Garrett off the roof to follow up with the second touch. He couldn't. That's going to go back.
But soft clears are stupid, people should stop doing them.
Way out of position now. No one going to be there to follow it up. Very quick. Throws it to Turtle. Tries to throw it off a Turtle maybe.
It will mind game your own teammates by keeping it close to you. That's why you communicate and tell your teammates what you're doing. You tell them that they can come in and hit this. It's all about communication and understanding what's going on.
Just trying to keep it all three. Quinn, Pluto, Moses there. Could be another scoring opportunity for Vexx. A little bit of scrambling going on for Genesis in their own zone.
Genesis still struggling. This has been the all Vexx show so far. Genesis, that Game 7 loss, really testing their mental strength.
Yeah, it looks like car parts and probably Crow coming in and saying exactly what I said, but because of the Twitch chat delay, it'll look like I said it first. You've got 1 to 3 seconds to communicate. It's pretty easy. Like, the ball spills in front of you and you just say, I'm not going to hit this, done. Or I'm not hitting this. Like, how long did it take me to say that? What, half a second?
Oh, that just seems to be the story for Genesis there, failing to put that
in general, is Yemen even in comms? No, Yemen would have rage quit comms ages before that even had the chance to happen.
I mean, only 3 shots.
But I mean, unsurprisingly, Genesis with a slow start, their hearts are broken after losing. This third place match is nowhere near as important. It's still important to some degree, but it's nowhere near as important as the previous game.
No chance at all. I mean,
Add the time to react to that comm. You guys, I think you're all just missing the point. It doesn't matter. But anyway, like, Genesis, if they won their previous game, they would have had $1,500 guaranteed, a chance to win $3,500 against IBP and take first place. Third place match, really only all that's on the line is the points. So it's an important series, but nowhere near as important as the series that they've already lost. So yeah, Vexx have had more time to talk about that.
Lots of time left. That was only game 1. Going in favor of Vexx in this best of 5.
How do I feel about people rage quitting competitive matches? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And very unprofessional.
Maybe they'll come out super strong in game number 2 as they try to make a push off the bat. Already Vexx setting plays up in their own zone. Already is Genesis. They don't want
this. Sorry about the frame drops. It's not me. It's the stream. It's the VOD.
For Garrett, can he finish it? A little bit of a bad touch, puts that way wide out. Pluto now with a long shot. That could actually
soft clears are terrible. Stop soft clearing the ball. It's a terrible idea. I don't think I've ever seen a soft clear and thought that was a genius idea.
He couldn't go for boost. He wanted to get it. Almost got the block, but Pluto just solo scored that one.
My mistake if I said best of 5.
A bit of a defensive fail right there.
I did realize that.
I don't forgive you.
As most wouldn't. I'm sorry though.
Not an easy one to read though, because it's bouncing off the wall so quickly.
Set up for his teammates off the bat. There's Pluto spinning around. Doesn't get a touch.
It's
Turtles
nice
carried away
rotation by
instead.
Pluto.
Gets a
No,
chance for a pass
not
out. This
rotation.
is
Nice
square
air
on
roll
Garrett. Garrett takes
to get his wheels onto the
advantage.
ceiling, because then he double jumps and hits the floor like instantly again.
You see Turtle gets a good touch. Moses gets another not so great touch, puts it right back for Turtle, and Garrett ends up punishing him. Moses needed to get that ball into the corner.
Any tips on keeping level-headed? You can like walk around with a book on top of your head and try and balance it. That'll help you with your level-headedness, I'm sure.
Leaves it for a goal, tying it up. 2 goals to under a minute already. High-scoring game. We'll see if they can keep it.
In all seriousness though, just stop getting mad. Like, people getting mad in games, just realize that getting mad is not going to help you win. Blaming your controller, blaming lag, these things are not helping you win games. You need to do things that help you win games. That's a good save by Turtle, by the way. And just realizing that blaming things and blaming circumstances instead of just accepting your mistakes and moving on, like, you know, blaming doesn't help you win games. Blaming teammates doesn't help you win games. So just stop doing it. What on earth is Garrett doing? Garrett, I think he just flew into the crossbar. Did we get to see it in this replay? Barely, yeah. Not the best flight path by Garrett right there.
That play would have not happened, but Garrett's defensive mistake led to Quinn.
Has there ever been a team winning a tournament out of laser finals? Probably. I'm gonna say probably on that one. In fact, certainly.
Game number 2. They want a point on that.
Getting angry sometimes helps you get motivated. I wouldn't rely on anger as a positive factor for getting motivated. Oh, Garrett's so good.
Off the pass. Garrett is a highlight reel machine. Look at this pass.
What a pass though by J-Ra.
Out into the mid. Garrett with the air roll shot into the
That pass by J-Ra completely took Genesis by surprise. I don't know why they're not crediting J-Ra more. That was like, that touch by J-Ra was godlike. But yeah, getting angry can motivate you to win, but I wouldn't rely on it because it's not like it's not stable to get angry. Try and rely on more stable emotions.
Moses has ball control. See if his teammates can get set up. They want to get another one in if they want to take this game. Turtle with a shot on net. Great passing plays coming from Vexx.
I don't know why you guys are still talking about a specific situation, which was pretty easy to see what went wrong.
Completely sold Pluto on the far net shot. Pluto, no chance on that one. Turtle perfectly placed.
At some point in life, you just have to realize that you've said enough on a topic, and then if people want to agree with you or disagree, it's up to them. Doesn't bother me if you all disagree with me on this, what, 50-50s being better than soft clears. Like, I don't care. You guys can go ahead and do your soft clears. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I've spoken my mind on the matter. What a save by Pluto. Never say everything you know. Always be selective. Say the best things. I've cherry-picked what I wanted to say on that matter, and that's gonna do it for me. This discussion is now over. Any further comments in Twitch chat will not be banned, but will not be replied to. On the super boring topic of Quinn going for a soft clear instead of keeping the ball close to him. There you go. I'll leave it at that.
Turtle throws that right over to Pluto. Pluto now to chase this one up the field. His teammates. Now that's going to go around. J-Ra steals that out of the air, trying to keep the pressure on.
I don't mean, no, not self, not S-E-L-F, clear, soft, S-O-F-T, soft clear. Sorry if my accent might be betraying me here. Soft clear is when you clear the ball away from your goal, like the ball is going away from your goal distance-wise, so that in that sense it's being cleared, but it's a soft clear. That means that the ball is not going over all of the opponents. If it's a hard clear, it goes over the opponents to the other side of the pitch. But a soft clear, you just kind of pass it. It's going away from your goal in distance, but it's actually going into a more dangerous position because it's going close to the opponent players in a place that they can take the possession. That was a good shot by Moses, but what? Face off demo. Beautiful.
That was incredible, and that almost allowed them to score right off the kick.
Did IBP have the same problems? Yeah, kinda. Latch played a lot better though today. I don't think Latch had anywhere near as many defensive issues as I've been seeing from him recently. So props to Latch. And Kronovi, the thing about Kronovi earlier is that he threw his car at the ball a few times, but it worked this time, so he didn't look stupid, he just looked like a genius. But that's what happens when you throw your car at the ball for a crazy dunk, or a crazy redirect, or a crazy whatever. Like, it's gonna work sometimes and you look really smart, but most of the time it's not gonna work and you're gonna look silly. Like, earlier we saw Kronovi get a dunk, and it was like, wow, what a play by Kronovi, but it was actually just a defensive mistake, because the defender didn't clear the ball to the side, and had he done so, Kronovi would have been sitting in the opposition net, with no boost, and his head in his hands, and hopefully his hands on his controller. Killing the ball in the corner is okay most of the time. Like, the whole idea of a soft clear is that you're putting the ball in a position that the other team can be like, okay, we can work with this, because you've not cleared it very well. But if you put the ball like really tight to your own defensive corner, then that's not really workable. They can't do much with that. It's not as bad as, say, just, you know, passing it into the center, which is far worse. Oh, no way. And now suddenly, okay, it looks like the ball's not going to be live, but suddenly that was a counter-attack chance because Garrett was creeping forward.
In the air, Garrett ended up blocking that shot, but Vexx looking good so far.
Quinn trying to place that one in early, 5 seconds in, but that's an open net! And there's Garrett with Vex's overtime goal.
We almost saw the same exact play in the Vexx versus
Not a good hit by Quinn. Well done by Turtle, by the way. The pass is just as good, if not better, than the finish there. Same thing with the pass from J-Ra to Garrett. Just a great team play. Just hitting it towards his teammate. When are EU finals? EU finals kick off in 2 hours and 14 minutes, which should be around about the time that I get finished looking at this VOD. Hopefully. Well, if we look, there's like 1.5 hours left on this one. And I think that
getting those highlight reels.
Garrett Turtle connection. Yeah, Garrett continuing to just make highlight reel play after highlight reel play. He really wants to get on Twitter.
There's like an 11-minute video after this, but yeah, I'll stream up to the EU finals and I'll host them because I'm definitely wanting to watch that myself. Meanwhile, we have Vexx versus Genesis, and Vexx starting off strong, much like Carpet predicted, because Genesis coming off the heartbreak loss. Oh dear, what was that? Was that Turtle ramming Garrett? Like, what on earth? Why? You notice Latch was up with Crow and Gambit was hanging back, which made Latch and Gambit more comfortable. The thing about IBP, and I've said this earlier today, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see it on a previous video, that IBP underutilized Gambit. They don't let him do as much as he could be doing in attack because Latch and Crow are so offensively minded, and they don't rotate out of defense, or they don't rotate out of attack, in particular Kronovi, as fast as they could be. So Gambit has to sit back at times where he would much rather go in and be aggressive. Good morning, CJ, how you doing? Or good afternoon, if you're in EU. Will I be doing EU reviews tonight, or will I want to save it for tomorrow? I'm going to do it tonight, because I know that the EU stream for RLCS isn't at the greatest time for West Coast North Americans, so I'll probably just do it right after the EU stream. We'll see though. Maybe not right after, but I'll probably do it in the early hours of the morning for me. Probably. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. But I think I'll do it tonight. Am I ever going to stream Rocket League instead of just commentating it? Yes. Yes, I will. But recently I just haven't had the time, because I've had so many things to do. Okay, see right there where Quinn like goes forward into the middle? I really don't like that play. I think it would be far better if he just stays at the back post and gives himself the option of driving onto the wall if he's required to do so. Like right now, I want to see him at the back post. This isn't the right position by Quinn. He should be next to the wall so that he's ready to drive up onto the wall and come off the wall and make it clear if the ball goes super high. So Genesis are putting themselves in an awkward position here, because nobody's ever at the back post with the option of going up on the wall. Again, we have two people in net instead of one in net and one person at the back ready to go up on the wall. Like, it's just a general thing that Genesis could do differently. But I would say most teams make that mistake right now. I very rarely see that
he's
back
feeling
post
very
position being
confident.
utilized properly.
Second touch almost puts that over Pluto, but Pluto reads the bounce to get a nice clear for his team.
Oh,
Nice
what
second
a
touch,
pass.
but no finish from
Gambit was still
J-Rod.
initiating
Gets that
offense,
back
yeah,
to
sometimes, but not as much as he could be, because he can't
Still
really move forward with
continuing
confidence
to
if Latch
stay
and Crow are
strong on
both in front of him
defense.
and being really,
Genesis
really,
has
really
been
aggressive.
putting good
Gambit
pressure
has to
on
cover a
targets,
clear
but again,
angle
Vexx just
to play a
continues
little
to
bit more
keep these
defensively,
out of net.
which
That
he's good
has
at.
to be
But I
frustrating for
mean,
Genesis.
if Crow kind of adopted that position and went 50-50 with Gambit in offense and defense, I think that they would be a better team. Although, like, that being said, Crow did, I think that IBP played very well against Vexx. Vexx were making a lot of mistakes sending two people for the same ball, which is extremely unusual for them. They're not doing that this series as much, but we did see it a couple of times. Like earlier this game we saw Turtle just ramming Garrett, which is odd and wrong.
Turtle tried to get it back to Garrett, couldn't get quite a good enough touch on it. They have some great passing plays, but Pluto not past J-Raw.
He put that right on net. He should have tried to go high with it off the backboard or get the pass. Vexx is going to block 100% of shots like that.
As they've proven already.
No, it's not bad having Gambit be a defensive wall, but Gambit is so capable in attack. He can just score goals out of nothing, and I don't think IBP utilized that as much as it could. He's also like a great setup guy. He's a great setup guy. Like, I think IBP underutilized Gambit right
So
now.
critical in the air as Turtle's going to put it in upper 90. Oh my!
What is
J-Rod
upper
deserves the
90?
credit
Is
for
it
that
like
one.
the
Look at
90-degree
that
angle in the
second
corner? Is that what it
Moses.
means?
Pluto makes
Oh, the
his
upper 90!
makes the play, and Turtle comes
Beautiful!
right
What a
over
goal!
him and
It is a good goal.
threads
I'm
it
just having some fun
into
with it.
the upper
And I
90.
love the casting.
Vexx yet again surviving in this series.
J-Raw has been the king of second touches or triple or 5 touches in a row.
Hitting the shot
this
back
entire,
at your own net,
entire day.
which
Proves
that
once
pro
again
Joe
with
you
that
mentioned,
pass.
hitting the ball back at your own net and missing, so in essence putting it into your own defensive corner is totally fine, especially if you can get the ball to roll up the wall, and then you can follow it up the wall and clear it to the side. That's fine. It's a good thing to do. Just missing your own goal intentionally. Don't, like, hit it off the flat part of the wall though, because then it will bounce center awkwardly. You've got to have it rolling.
Not touching a lot of the balls maybe he should, but
Will we see more amazing keyboard and mouse players? Probably. I'm sure that there will always be like a keyboard and mouse player who's competitive.
30 seconds remaining in this match. Pluto needs a good clear here. He does get it.
Do I think there could be a feature of playing 2 defenders, 1 attacker in Rocket League? It doesn't sound that useful. Like, the thing about Rocket League is the pitch is so small and you can cover the whole length of it so quickly. It's kind of like basketball where you just have all the players involved in attack and then all the players involved in defense. You don't have positions as such, even though the game is like football or soccer, if you will, because of the ball and the goals, but it doesn't play a lot like soccer because you can cover the whole pitch so quickly, which is something you can't do in in football.
Pluto was so close in the end there to get that off the backboard, but look at that.
You feel like all 3
2
players in
shots.
IBP want to have
2
freedom,
shots for Vexx,
go for
and
every
they
shot.
managed to eke by versus the 8 shots for Genesis.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, Genesis had 8 shots, but none of them looked that threatening. Shots is not always indicative of who had the most pressure.
Some weird flips, putting himself in weird positions, and it just doesn't feel.
The IBP don't need a support player, they just need to rotate out of attack faster. Like, Kronovi spends far too long just chilling in front of the net, hoping that the ball comes towards him for him to flick it on. And they go for too many balls in attack as well. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a chance for a ball to be redirected just to be passed up on by an IBP player, because they're just like, yeah, this is too risky. They just go for everything.
You're right. It does hurt mentally. You do feel it, but you can't tilt.
Exactly. You cannot tilt. There's still 100.
It's not about having 2 players up and 1 back. I'm not saying that IBP should have Gambit be the attacker and Kronovi be the defender. They just need to be more balanced. They shouldn't have 1 player, aka Gambit, being, you know, the one in defense all the time.
Precisely. This is not the end by any means at all. There is a lot still forward. You still have a chance to win that final prize, but not if you're going to play like this. We'll see if they can get it turned around. J-Raw trying to go to the far side, almost getting the first goal 30 seconds in. It's a bad touch on that. Throws it deep into his own zone. That's out front of the net.
What?
Wow, look at the team
Why?
of Vexx to help out Pluto.
Yeah, you know, a little bit
Great
of
team play
barrier
from
perhaps.
Garrett
A
to
big
Pluto.
pinch, and then Garrett
What is he
passes
thinking?
it right into the
Why
mid.
Garrett?
Pluto.
Garrett's like
Garrett
definitely
just wants to be a part of all the
definitely
goals today.
We talk about those
shaky.
Spider-Mans. If you're gonna
Rizzo,
do
I
it,
would
you
say
gotta do
Rizzo
it
says
right.
Johnny is better than
Now
Gibbs. Nah,
right
Gibbs is probably better than me.
opponents. Right out to
Gibbs is
Genesis
probably
as
better
they
than
get
me
the first goal
at
on the
Rocket League
scoreboard. Quinn
as a
tries to
player.
set up another one, nice little touch, but J-Rock
Almost
picks it up
certainly.
easy off the ground.
I wouldn't think. I
Followed
wouldn't
up,
ever
he
put
get
me
a
ahead
nice
of
bit
Gibbs
trouble. He
as a
can,
Rocket
but
League
he
player.
can't get it quite past Moses. Still advantageous for them. Pluto has a good touch on that to push it back into Vex's area. Moses.
Where's Pluto in my chat? Pluto's here. Where are you? Somebody tagged Pluto. Is he in here?
Back and forth.
I don't know.
Moses, can he follow this off the backboard? Scoring opportunity, can't finish it. Pluto keeping the pressure on though.
Now, right now we are on the brink of a sweep,
Oh,
but Moses
Moses!
gonna try to prevent that one from happening as he just gets up in the air here. This
What a
ball
read by
coming out the
Pluto.
mid, thanks to
That's
Pluto.
incredible.
Good pinch pass.
Moses just in the
And
right
Moses
place.
is already there.
Gets that
Moses
over
is kind of like in that
Vexx
position
players
over on the
in
other
the
side, so he
lead.
comes from the
For
blind
Genesis,
side.
they're
It's a
starting
really
to
useful
bounce
thing
back,
to
but
do.
it might be a little bit too late.
Spreading out
It is
more
already
in
3
attack
games down in the
to cover
series.
more
That
angles.
is tough. Vexx only has to win one more to guarantee them that third place spots and the 140 extra points. But another goal. Pluto getting credit for that. I think he got that second touch right in front of the net.
Yeah, J-Ra.
Oh look, a soft clear by J-Ra.
Pluto
And then
puts it right off the
Pluto
net,
with
and
the
no
calculation
chance
off the wall.
save, and ends up
Beautiful
throwing it
play by
down.
Pluto.
Yeah, very calculated, but Vexx having a little bit of a hiccup, and they really shouldn't get too comfortable because we have seen.
You think what I'm doing right now is what coaches should do with their
happen in
team?
the past.
Yeah, absolutely. This
Especially
is a
if
great
they
thing to
drop
do
this
with
game,
teams
and then the
individually.
next game,
Like I've done this before
then
with
you
teams.
really start
It's a very
getting
good thing to do.
nervous.
Except
And
like in
that's
replays
the
rather than a
mentality
VOD
you
review.
so
VOD review,
want.
you get a bit more banter because you can hear the casters and you watch the production. Just a bit of fun really, but still I feel like I'm able to generate some pretty interesting discussion about Rocket League meta, individual games, individual players, things like that. It's just something different. Oh, Turtle! I love bumps off the wall. They're great.
But not leading to anything.
He's
there.
exactly one spot above where you tagged him, was he? I missed. Oh yeah, he is. Oh no. But I mean, at the end of the day, the only series that mattered for Genesis really was their series against Kings of Urban. That was the make or break. Like, it's same thing for Vexx and IBP. Like, the semi-finals were so much more important than the finals and the third place match, which is a bit of a flawed system in my opinion. I feel like the final should be the most important match, but when I looked at what people got for coming second, it made it that, you know, not coming third, fourth was the main thing, which, I don't know, kind of weird.
Rushing back, he's not slow at all. Keeps that L, but the shot from Moses.
Moses!
Right over an attacker.
It was a pretty good shot.
And Quinn with that BM demo at the end. But Quinn passes that out into the mid. Moses is just waiting for it. You saw J-Ra. He wasn't perfectly perpendicular or parallel with the goal line, which made it hard for him to react quickly enough to get that save. Very good placement by Moses getting that one. J-Ra, if he was positioned completely parallel, he might have been able to get to that one in time.
Garrett catches that off the roof. They're trying to make a push out. They need to get some goals. 2 minutes left in game number 4.
3-4 is quite important. Yes, it is. But the difference between second and third is bigger than the difference between third and fourth. And the difference between second and third is also bigger than the difference between first and second. When I feel like first, second should be the most important.
J-Ra almost finished that.
Okay, so it's a cool looking air dribble, but at the end of the day, we have a attacking play that doesn't result in a shot and goal, so it's pretty poor at the end of the day. If you're just like looking at it objectively. Looked cool, but wasn't very effective. Although off-the-wall air dribbles are definitely better than ground-based air dribbles, in my opinion, because you can just focus entirely on redirecting the ball on its way down to the net. You don't need to lift it to start it off.
Pluto did his best to get it clear, ended up just putting it up on a tee.
Yeah, but what is $2,000 compared to qualifying for the offline event? Like, qualifying for the offline event is so much more important than the money for this tournament. So, coming second, you're pretty much qualified for the offline event, because you can skip the next qualifier and you're straight into the groups. The teams who came 3rd and 4th year have to play the next online qualifier before they can even think about playing in the groups and getting points. Like, I feel like 2nd place is so much more valuable than 3rd. Which is why at this point Genesis are just like so sad because they were really close to beating Q and they just couldn't do it, barely. Even from a monetary standpoint, like having a chance to win the offline LAN money is so much bigger than winning, you know, the online money. Although the money for this event is really a lot of money as far as esports and Rocket League goes. It's nothing compared to this, the offline event.
30 seconds left. Oh, J-Ra almost to finish off. Garrett, can he do it though? Not strong enough as Quinn back to midfield.
Off the wall air dribbles are better than off the ground air dribbles because you can redirect the ball a lot more.
This game not as seriously after coming out so hot, getting those first 3 games. They're playing a little bit sloppy, giving Genesis too much room to work with.
Well, they're trying to go for a lot of cool plays, and if they can finally land some.
No, yeah, man, for this event, like, qualifying for the LAN is by far the most important thing. By far the most important thing for these teams, and every team who's competing in RLCS. Getting to the LAN is so big. So big.
The series is now 3-1 in favor of Vexx. A lot closer than it was before when it was, well, 3-0. That's some math for you.
Avoiding the sweep. A lot more shots for Vexx on this one. And Genesis starting to come alive now. They played very well against Kings of Urban. Definitely deflated a little bit in those first games, but it's still not unthinkable to think the reverse sweep could happen. We've seen it before in big tournaments.
James is right. I can think of a situation where the reverse sweep is possible. It involves Genesis winning 3 games in a row from this point. I do like that the casters are building a narrative though. That's what you have to do if you're casting an event. Or just casting a tournament like this. You have to just build a story. Tell a story of both of the teams and how they've got here and what they're gonna, the journeys that they could be taking moving forward.
Genesis really needs to come back on this one. They have been struggling.
If you go to the LAN, you get to be in a group of nerds experiencing the cringe of esports as a group, and Yemen won't be there because he's too busy calling LANs cringeworthy instead of actually going and socializing with people that you meet online, which by the way is awesome, and I would encourage you to go meet all your online friends at any opportunity that you get, because you'll have a lot of fun. There's meeting in real life is a lot of fun with people that you've only met online. Jokes aside though, Yemen, definitely go to the LAN, it'll be a lot of fun. Everybody who's anybody in Rocket League should be trying to go to that LAN. Like, I hope I can go. It'll be incredible.
Starting up. Ooh, that's in front of the net. Can someone follow up? J-Ra chases it through. Pluto can win out the contest.
Fortunately for J-Ra, that ball hit the little arc at the lower part of the wall and actually popped out too far for Moses to handle. If that came straight back, it might have been better for Genesis.
The VOD's having some frame drops, by the way. That's not me. That's the video. So apologies for the frame drops. It looks like the VOD has some issues.
Still 0-0. I'm back with Park. Number 5, the demo.
Get smashed.
J-Ra could be a scoring opportunity for them, but they couldn't capitalize.
All right, now Moses just trying to get back in time. Both players.
I think Garrett actually cleared that.
This is a tough spot for Genesis. Gonna try to recover. You can see Moses trying to flip back for some boost.
Good touch from J-Ra. The pass going a little bit too far for Turtle. Would have been a great push through from J-Ra.
What is $2,000, Rizzo, compared to the networking opportunities? If people like genuinely go to the LAN and just meet people, like, you could easily make back that $2,000 for going there just by networking. You can't put a value on networking. It's so important in esports. Just, you know, building up contacts with people. Who knows? In the future, that could be a job, or it could be like a sponsorship deal. It could be anything.
Still 0-0, approaching our halfway mark.
VOD goes video on the game. No, it's video on demand. And all of the VODs for this tournament are available on twitch.tv/Rocket League, so definitely check that out. Has the location for the LAN been released? I don't believe so. I really hope they release it pretty soon. Yemen networking, forehead.
The backboard, if he doesn't touch that, could have been scoring. Quinn was waiting for that just in case Moses missed, which he did. Good thing it was there, able to push to midfield. Still struggling to push out. No team.
Yeah, Yemen got the biggest sponsor by selling himself for free.
Pass can't get received by Quinn.
Quinn was just too far away, and you see J-Ra with the demo. This is a good offensive chance.
Replay analysis, hourly rate. It depends what people want. Like, if anybody wants to ask me about coaching, personal coaching, then just hit me up on my Gmail.
Oh wow, J-Rod just was going for blood
And
right
I'll,
there, and it almost
like, it depends
cost
what people
him.
want,
Yeah,
because
that was,
obviously if
again,
it's
one
just
of
like a
those things that can
one-time
be very,
replay, then that's going to be
I think
different
as
from like
Beard was saying, very
a
pivotal,
one-to-one,
help you out
hour-long
or
session.
destroy your team. Thankfully, that shot was a little bit wide. Garrett now trying to push that pass. He does. One to beat.
It ain't gonna be
Gets it off
free,
the
though.
roof. Let's see if he can push it further.
My
He
time
does.
is valuable
he's
to
trying
me.
go for that boost.
Better be
Smart
valuable to
interception,
anybody
got to
who's
it.
looking to get coaching
Pass
from
to
me.
Turtle. Turtle tries to get it out, but not quite
Am I going to go to the
there.
LAN?
Rushing
Certainly,
back
hope
keep
hope
the win
to.
from attacking. Nice little touch off the wall, puts it back to midfield.
You now have contacts to other orgs such as Mouse Sports and Blank. Well done, Yemen. Nah, jokes aside, Yemen of course has been networking here and there. People don't even realize that they're networking sometimes. They're just like communicating with other people who are useful to them. That's networking.
Garrett trying to get fancy.
Oh, what a
That goes
touch
in.
by Garrett.
Oh my goodness, Pluto barely keeping that one out.
That was a great
He got
touch.
some nice
I think that was
freestyle in
actually
there
going in
before.
from
I
Garrett.
wish that was going in.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous play.
Well, thanks,
Garrett didn't get a
Zaz.
lot on that, but it
Of
was
course,
a well-placed shot.
I did a
Still,
coaching
these
session
teams
with you and your friend
scoreless.
yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Something has to give here.
45 seconds left. Pluto missing that once again. Lots of misses from Pluto. And I think that's what's
Have I ever 1v1 Coach Ryu in coaching? Oh, Moses. No, I have not 1v1 Coach Ryu in coaching. It would be an easy win for me though.
Moses putting the ball on his hood, getting that third touch, putting it
That
just
should
out of the
probably be
reach of
defended
Vexx,
though. It was not the
most clutch
like
goal so far
greatest air dribble. It didn't
of the
like
series
he
for
didn't
Genesis,
slam it in off the
keeping them
crossbar
alive.
while
If they
dunking it the
take
whole
this
way.
game too, we could start seeing the tilt factor come into play.
Do I
and
do
Genesis
birthday
creeps in
parties?
and
What do you mean?
starts making this reverse sweep a reality.
I'm pretty sure that's a
24
troll.
seconds left to tie this one up. They are on the attack. Let's see if they finish it. Moses just gets in the way of the shot from J-Raw, keeping that a 1-0 lead for Genesis. Pluto, soft touch, still has ball control. Just has to beat up J-Raw. Loses that contest. There's Quinn with the long shot. Pluto
What WoW
opts trying to
server?
get
I
it
played
off the
WoW
backboard.
on
Can't
Neptulon
quite do it.
EU.
5 seconds left for Vexx to pull this through.
Way
They're on
back in the
push
day.
Now. Just got to keep it off the corner here.
Would you
Still
consider
happening.
charity and ever
Probably
coach
drop that
someone's
in front of their
replay
net.
on
Moses
request?
keeping
Would
that
just like
away.
give someone a freebie?
Die here.
Well, not
Pluto
really,
wants to-
because
that's on target, but it's gonna
that wouldn't be
go
very fair to say like.
before it goes in.
I mean, sure, if I'm friends with
Just
someone,
barely missing
then
on that one, coming up
you know
short,
I'll help
but
them out because they're my friend.
they
But
really
I
need to
mean,
start
if I don't know
their
someone
game.
and
They
they're just
got
like
out
coming at me
3
asking
games
for
ahead,
like
and now
a
they're starting
freebie,
to
then I
lose
can't
a
really do
little
that
bit.
because like, how would I distinguish between well who I'm supposed to give that service to? It's not really fair. It's just like you know when streamers do
and I think that's a factor that's really
when
not
players
helping
do or
Genesis
streamers do
one-on-one
viewer
stuff,
games,
but
it's like you
gotta
know
keep it through.
if you've got hundreds of viewers then viewer games is kind of selective. It's just kind of
Anything
random.
else that
Like,
they
you
can
can
do
never
to
give
get
everybody
T2
a
on or
viewer
Street or
game.
2-0
Well,
sweep that.
they
So it's
really
almost
just
more
need
fair to just
make
not do
sure
them.
that they're hitting the hits that they should, right? There have been several just plays where you're shaking your head at, like how can you let that get out into the mid, or how can you pass it out like the Garrett?
Yeah, it could be a
pass
giveaway.
right
That's
out
true,
into the
Caden.
mid,
I could do it as a giveaway.
for
That's different
Pluto
though. That's
to
like
put
you
in.
know
Both these teams looking
that's
a little
a
bit
that's a giveaway.
sloppy, I would
So
say,
obviously I could do
but,
that in the
Genesis,
future.
they're starting to heat up, and this it starts getting into the panic mode if you're Vexx, especially if you drop this game. We'll have a tied series and the possibility that Genesis completes a reverse sweep. I don't think we haven't seen that so far in this RLCS.
It's very
and
true, like,
really, it is a rarity.
This game is pretty much the decider because if you go into well, it's not like actually the decider because obviously you can lose 3 games in a row and then just come back and win the last game to complete your 4. But losing this game is like it's so difficult for Vexx to come back from that, so they need to win this one. Game 3 in the series, Genesis had a good shot in it. Like the first 2 games were pretty one-sided because Genesis were still trying to come back from the heartbreak of losing to KOU. It's great save by Moses right there. He got that ball clear also.
That Garrett was in the mid looking to make that shot. Moses had his card directed at net and was
Yeah, the
able to
EU finals
take
start
that
in
shot
1
and
hour
deflect
and
it. So
50
very good
minutes.
defensive play
So
by Moses.
I'll finish up streaming around about then, and then I'll host those boys.
Not the touch he wanted off the backboard. J-Rod to steal it away. Turtle to finish it up. Garrett.
That's a
once again there.
poor
Pass from
poor
Turtle over to
decision by
J-Rod.
Garrett to
Got
jump
by
for that
Quinn,
ball.
though. There's J-Raw.
You should definitely just wait for it to fall. Like you jump up for a ball if you want to like take a shot or make a save or take an opponent out the game. He was doing none of those things by jumping for that ball.
Wall, Quinn, easy cleanup, back and forth ping pong going on from Vexx and Genesis.
Yeah, Pluto doesn't get the greatest touch, and Turtle is going to beat Moses here and put Genesis on the defensive.
Quinn trying to get a place out of his team. Once again, the ping pong going on. J-Raw, not the backflip he probably wanted, or backflip at all. Tries to put a body in the way. Genesis
Party in the corner. And luckily for Garrett, Pluto just hits the ball straight into him. So not the best play by Pluto right there. They had a chance to do a 2v1 counter attack. There's a lot of frame drops in this VOD. Apologies for that again. I can't really control that. It's just the video has some frame issues. I'm not dropping any frames on my live stream, so it's definitely the VOD.
Moses is struggling to position in net right now. It does end up working out.
It's a decent hit by Moses. It can cause some trouble. Like if J-Raw screwed that up, you could argue that it was a forced error by Moses.
Long shot after Moses clears that one deep. Pluto expecting a shot out from J-Raw, but it doesn't come. Gets the boost at least. There's Turtle doing some flips. Can't stop that pass. Quinn stuck in the corner once again of Genesis zone. Can't get a shot opportunity for Vexx. That could be it, but Moses.
The thing about coaching Starby that a lot of people don't realize and underappreciate. Oh, okay. Defensive whiff right here. But the thing about coaching that people don't realize is that, sure, you can improve by yourself, but if you're being coached, you can improve faster. Much faster in certain cases. Because some people, although they are able to identify their mistakes, they're not able to do it as well as somebody else watching their game with an unbiased, neutral opinion. Oh, Garrett should probably have been able to save that, but he was a beaten man. Didn't go in though. Why am I not in gaming talk shows? Because this is, like, there is gameplay. Like, this is gameplay that we're watching.
That pass was great.
A talk show would be if it was just my face cam in the chat. But we're watching gameplay together. We're watching Rocket League gameplay.
Again, a perfectly placed shot, but J-Raw, all the credit goes to him.
RLCS always lags on source, but not in high quality. I've never seen frame drops in the other VODs that I've done. Will there be another RLCS after this one, multiple seasons? I definitely think so. Definitely think so.
Showing why it's so valuable there as he gets them in a position to get back.
I mean, getting good quick is it's like value for money in coaching. It's just like, it just depends. Like, do you want to get good efficiently, or are you okay with improving slowly? Like, if somebody is okay with just steadily improving, then sure, you probably don't need a coach. You could just like do it yourself, just DIY, get better. But if you want to get good quick, then I definitely recommend like looking for help from someone who has more experience than you do.
Follow it up. Oh, it's going around. Yeah, that could be an open. Garrett gets back in time. No pressure from Genesis.
Yeah, that could have been very bad.
That's also very true. What Pluto said, it's very easy to develop bad habits by yourself if you don't have direction and somebody telling you that what you're doing is suboptimal or wrong even.
You don't see teams at this caliber generally putting that back out into the center of the net anyways.
Also, the other thing is that for a pro team, if a pro team are trying to learn by themselves and then they're kind of coaching each other, like, it can be a really weird relationship dynamic where players have to... Oh my word, Turtle. That's so well done.
Did Turtle make this happen?
Turtle's a god.
Garrett, cross-map Turtle goes up and just... Oh, an
what a god. Well done.
Turtle puts it in.
But yeah, what I was saying is that if players are coaching each other, you need to, it's such a delicate situation, because you're inevitably going to get frustrated at each other, because say player A tells player B to do something, and then after 500 games player B is still not doing what player A suggested, then player A is going to be pretty sad. Even no matter how steadfast your personality is, it's difficult to move forward without getting upset in that situation to some degree. So having a coach who's basically a middleman, a neutral, a mediator, whatever you want to call it, is really valuable, because he can just work as a middleman between the players. All the players can communicate their issues and their suggestions to the coach, and the coach can pass it on between players anonymously and, you know, throw in his own words of wisdom as well. Makes it a lot easier for people to improve because it's less toxic, less blamey. Oh, Pluto lost control of the ball. Oh no.
That's not the time you want to be missing those, and that is gonna die.
You gotta hit those, Pluto.
Vexx takes it 4-2. Genesis.
So Vexx
A very good
able to take down
performance.
Genesis
Couldn't
in
reel it
what
back.
is
They got off to just
kind of an
too
upset because
slow
Genesis were
of a
going in as the
start.
third seed,
It
but
was
at the
too
same
much for them
time,
to overcome. They
the
came out very
circumstances of the
cold,
series,
missed a
it
lot
doesn't
of easy
surprise me a
plays,
huge
gave
deal
up a lot
that
of
Genesis
goals
started off
that
slow
were
here.
questionable, and they just struggled to get back into it.
You're right, Johnny Boy, just money is a big factor for me because you're not even an adult, so you would do it later. That's obviously like absolutely fine. Not everybody needs to get a coach. Not everybody in Rocket League needs to
You're not over there right now. This is the new desk.
needs
We're gonna see
to
what
you
they
know
have
put
to say.
money
Scott,
into
take it away.
improving.
Well,
Not everybody has that option,
Welcome back to the
but
desk, Scott
some people
Gibbs.
should definitely be looking to do that if they have the resources available and they want to improve quickly.
Findable card parts.
Findable car parts.
The beard's on the end here. Mushy people don't even know what we're talking about. So Vexx won the first three, ended up winning 4-2. Just you can't give up the first three matches.
Yeah, Vexx came out strong, and that's what they had to do. They scored like 2 goals in the first minute of the first game. That really puts.
Nah,
Genesis on the
Pluto
back
and Genesis can be very proud of themselves for taking KOU close because that's probably the biggest surprise of the day. As a neutral spectator, with just coming in, seeing the results and the standings of the teams and how they've performed previously up to this point, you would expect Kings of Urban to beat Genesis. And the fact that Genesis were 3-2 up in the series, 2-0 up in Game 6, and then they lost to because of a couple of unforced errors, you know, missed wall clears, that's really surprising. That's the biggest upset for me from if I'm coming in from as a spectator.
Big 140-point advantage. Take a look at the
Didn't surprise me though,
high performance
for reasons that Pluto will understand.
And Garrett was the MVP of this series. The pass and plays from Vexx are just insane. Like, this goal was great from Garrett, but J-Ro's pass here
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Yeah. J-Ra's pass was better than Garrett's finish. Absolutely. And that pass was probably better than Garrett's finish as well. Like, the pass just made it so easy for Garrett to do that. Great passing by
One of the
Vexx.
things Genesis was doing a lot was low clears, so then Vexx would just come back with a counterattack pass and play. That's how they were scoring a ton of their goals.
Yeah.
You hear the Moses play. Holy Moses.
Holy
Durable.
Moses.
I mean, Genesis nearly steadied themselves and took Game 3 against Vexx, but going 0-3 down just made it a little bit too difficult to make the comeback. I think by the end we could see that Genesis was, you know, starting to make a comeback happen.
Low clear here and another pass
But
to Garrett.
some great passing plays and redirect goals by
Unbelievable. Using
by
his
Vexx.
wheels here,
Just
the ball
fantastic
goes
passing.
softer off of it.
And Genesis giving themselves too much to do, weren't able to win 4 games in a row.
Well, I mean,
I do think though that if that game went on to like best of 9, best of 11, that you would see Genesis start to win more games than they would lose.
Not in the finals. The finals are coming.